I'm moving my attention to this COVID inquiry. Things are moving pretty quick with it. They're taking submissions from the public. So deadline's 15th of next month. So I've got about 3 and a bit weeks to put it all together. I'm going to adhere to the terms of reference. Otherwise, it gives them an excuse to just dump it in straight into the waste paper bin. And I want you to support your submission with evidence. I've got gigabytes of that. Now, the panel of three are going to have a look at all of the submissions and come up with some recommendations. Well, I'm going to help them out a bit with that and just give them some of my recommendations. Now, they've put a limit of 3 pages on the submission and document, and you can attach 5 files. I mean, otherwise, myself, they just be getting thousands of pages because there's so much material you could hit them with. So I'll be addressing 5 concerns with each of those documents or attachments. So number one's going to be the emergency declaration by the Governor General, because the duration did not justify, it was not justified on the health effects. Like there was over 2 or 3 times that they extended it, no one died. And also clarification by the Attorney General on suspension of the Constitution. Just remember, it ended 17th of April, exactly 33 days before the election, so they could hold it. Then they're going to hit them with the RBA and their TFF, their Term Funding Facility, and quantitative easing COVID programs, because it accelerated the debt and transfer of public funds, and it was hundreds of billions to the banks. Now, I'm claiming that it's adherence to the terms of reference because the RBA actually falls under the Treasury portfolio, and I'll also be pointing out that it appears they could not have transferred that money unless Frydenberg, who was the treasurer at the time of the Commonwealth Government, hadn't raised the debt ceiling twice from 850 up to 850 billion, then 1.2 trillion. Now, the third one is the jabs. I'm not going to talk too much about this one. I'm trying. Hopefully, I won't get taken down and get another strike. So you just want to have a read through yourself. It's yeah, they're very sensitive about this one. Now, this one's a big one. This is public messaging. This was government officials and government-owned and licensed media just lying. But I'll be highlighting the contradictory and inconsistent information, and that on their web pages they'll say it's the flu and a cold, which most people don't see, but then imply that it's much worse in hysterical interviews using very colourful adjectives. Now, in the terms of reference, they clearly state that they're not going to be looking at anything that the premiers did and when hold a full-on Royal Commission, which is what really should happen. How can you have an emergency for over 2 years and then just brush it off with an inquiry? If this doesn't justify a Royal Commission, then, like I said before in one of my other videos, they're over. You can't have them anymore. But anyway, enforcement by regulatory agencies, now they're implicated because they had military, which is Commonwealth at the borders. I'm also going to mention police acts of violence. They may not put that in. Now, legality of the whole thing. Remember, they withdrew all the fines because there was no evidence. It's all done on modelling by Jodie McVernon at the Doherty Institute. Gee, I've got so much material on her. I'm going to have trouble fitting it all into these documents because they've got to be less than 10 meg for all 5. So they're going to be PDF, so I'll do the best I can there. And if I get to it, the loss of public trust, because you speak to people, they now look at the government and police differently now, because most people's interaction with cops was just when they're on the road doing the road rules, speeding or random breath tests. And that's about as the only interaction the ordinary citizen's ever going to have with the police. But COVID changed all that, and they saw it on TV. Even though a lot of it was staged, like I think Zoe was. You had cops in people's homes, harassing them, banging on doors, throwing people to the ground. And down in Victoria, they tried they say, well, we're going to rebuild. Now, they still want you to be fearful. They don't really want you to trust them. They're making out like they do, but no, they're quite happy with everyone with that change. So I'm going to highlight that in my submission as well, which they won't like hearing about. Now, it's easy to find. I've put the links there if you want to go along and make your own submissions, because I certainly can't cover everything that I want to do, but I'll show what I'm doing, and then people might want to cover some other areas. Now, I'll be on this for the next 3 weeks, so if I don't put a video out or you don't hear from me anywhere, it's that I'm focused on this, because then I want to areas of concern files. I'll make a video to get feedback, and then if there's any suggestions, I can then modify it. I always get a lot of ideas from people in the comments section. And they're going to be over on Rumble, although I will put the bumper to the Rumble videos on this channel. All right, that's it for this one.